Yeah, I am Sean. This is the Sean Ward Show. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm going to be doing probably the most personal and vulnerable video I have ever done. It's going to get crazy. I've seen a lot of people recently, big YouTubers, famous names, talking about their issues with YouTube and its censorship systems. I've avoided doing something on that topic mostly because I've never been the kind of person to blame the algorithm or say that I'm being hard done by YouTube. I'm more of a take charge, assume responsibility kind of person. But one of the members of my team, shout out to Trey, recommended that I do my version of one of those videos just to share with you a bit about what's going on behind the scenes at this channel, because it's kind of nuts. It's a story that's both too sexy and violent while too kid-friendly at the same time. It's this messed up story about when success happens really, really fast and you can barely hang on and stick into your creative vision. So let's go. Stick around to the end for a special giveaway that's only for like the most super of the super fans. Okay, so you see this right here? This is the last decade of my life. From a Batman prank video that went insane viral and got us on the news and everyone talking about us and knowing who we were, to following that up with getting on the news with 2 more viral videos later that same year. And then that turned into just, okay, I'm going to make YouTube my main thing. I'm going to push it hard. I'm going to see how far I can take it. 100,000 subscribers was my big goal back then. But every waking moment of my life, all of my creative energy for the last almost decade has gone into this. Like, what's that magic combination of thumbnail and title and content that's gonna go to the stratosphere? Okay, so this video right here, the Spider-Verse flash mob prank, the number 10 most viewed video on all of YouTube, which is absolutely bonkers. This video is over 700 million views. When it got to 100 million, I had a friend named Dan, call me up and he's like, hey, can I ask you something? And I said, sure. He's like, did you buy those views? Like, what? I would never. Like, I know people who have done that. And for one, they're only ever buying like tens of thousands at a time. And that always blows up in their faces. That's just a bad idea. I would never do that. He's like, oh, well, how do you get 100 million views on one video? And I just kind of had to laugh and say, I use, timing, dedication, trying a lot of things until something works. That's what this was. Okay, so this right here is my channel's all-time lifetime views. You're looking at the chart from registering the channel into that first little blip, if you can see it right here, is that Batman video, Batman's Night Out, that went crazy viral. And then this next little blip is the second video we did that went viral on the news, TV shows making it their video pick of the week and all this kind of nutsy stuff. So then you see a long flat line of me just like keeping at it, trying different things, seeing what works, trying to make something pop off. And then it starts to get the slow lift off when I started publishing weekly at the beginning of 2014. And then you get to this magical moment right here in 2015 when I made that video I just showed you, the Spider-Man flash mob video that just like took off like so crazy, changed my life. And then the whole rest of this graph, all this bonkers, insane action, all these different times that the Sean Ward Show was one of the fastest growing channels on the whole platform. It's absolutely bonkers. So all this section where it's like the high graph, that's a period of time where some back catalog videos are just continuing to earn over time. And so, like I said, you put a video up and certain ones will go to the stratosphere and do tens of millions of views and just keep on getting watched. Evergreen content that goes for years and years and years, right? And just this whole game of what's the next video that's going to go big like that just consumed my life to the point where for a lot of this period, I was earning more in like 2 months than either of my parents ever earned in a year in their whole life. So let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so now I've got it so you can see mid 2019 to the present. And what you can see is us trucking along, having success, having a good time, making awesome videos, traveling all over North America, going to every Comic-Con I've ever wanted to go in my life, feeling like I'm living the dream in this huge way. And then you see right here, this little dot right here, what's that? March 27th, 2020. So what happened in March 2020, right? lockdowns. And I don't know like what switch got flipped. I just figure everybody's home watching content that the viewing habits got so turned around all of a sudden that the algorithm didn't know what to do, or I don't know what. But you can literally see where I'm putting the little blip right now? Do you see where I'm putting that little balls bouncing around? You can literally see it just like in March 23, it goes boom, and kind of trips, falls off a cliff, and kind of never really gets back. And the trend has been down from then on. And you can see over here this year how we kind of have some of these spikes. Like that's our short strategy. But in this particular case, especially with the way lockdowns were affected and whatnot, YouTube was kind of screwing me. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is my wonderful collection of videos that YouTube has in their infinite wisdom come along and stamped with this wonderful thing called made for kids. So often it's one of my best performing videos or something that we did recently that's just really doing well. And it's like, I get it. I see the thumbnails. I see what we do. I can see how someone who doesn't know what we're doing, who just glances at it or discovers it for the first time, might think that, you know, a kid channel thing is what we're doing. I get why people make that mistake, but I would have hoped that people who work at a place like YouTube or anybody who takes the time to like dig into what we're trying to do would get what we're doing at a slightly deeper level than that. So before you had made for kids, you had the first adpocalypse when they brought out the whole idea of not monetizable, or sorry, not appropriate for all audiences or not appropriate for all advertisers or whatever. So that really hurt a lot of our videos. So some of my really, really good performing videos, like the second most popular video on my whole channel, with a Spider-Man versus Black Cat real life superhero battle. That one's got 292 million views on it. And that one got hit with the limited or no ads. This Deadpool versus Domino one, 54 million views, 3 million views, 1 million views, 8 million views, 5 million views, 14 million views. All these videos that are getting slapped with that not suitable for all advertisers, seemingly willy-nilly. It's like, okay, well then I'll try to make the stuff more family friendly then, if that's what YouTube's going to be, right? I didn't complain then and say the algorithm's screwing me. I just tried to adjust and keep going. Like, look at the thumbnail for this one that's toy battle, right? Even then, like I'm writing it thinking that I'm writing like a biting satire of like the adult collector market, but then it's just, nope. Thumbnail's got Spider-Man holding action figures in the thumbnail, so 133 million views. But one like the Battle of the Movie Billionaires, that was one that we put up like right near the beginning of the pandemic, and it did really well. Right now I'm looking at it, 2.2 million views. Like, okay, I get it. It's colorful, it's brightly lit, it's these superhero characters that kids could be into. Like, okay, fine. But like when I'm submitting the appeal and explaining what the thing's about and the script is like more of like a biting satire kind of thing, like, I don't know, none of that gets taken into account. I would have hoped that somebody who sees it, who's in that position of like taking the appeal, would get that like the depth of knowledge and the references that we're putting into it. It's not for kids, because I'm trying to make this stuff not for kids, but like for the teenagers, for like me in high school, the geek, the outcast, the big comic collector nerd. Like that's who I'm thinking of is going to like this stuff when I'm writing it. So YouTube has actually hit way more of my videos with the made for kids thing, but I've actually won some of the appeals. And the ones where I win the appeals, it's only because I can point at a overly sexy woman or somebody using a gun. Like one of the videos they said is made for kids, and I had to in the appeal say the very first shot of the video is Black Widow shooting a gun. What are you talking about? And then there's one that they hit with made for kids. One of my, like, not even a kids video, like a Comic-Con video where I'm going out doing video of everybody's cosplay. They tried to say that was made for kids, and I had to point out like, okay, this woman who's got a very prominent G-string showing, and I was even on Twitter with like that screenshot, you know, like, so YouTube says this is made for kids. But this video was the most infuriating one. It was actually demonetized in the first adpocalypse. They said that this video was too hot, not suitable for all advertisers. My best guess at the time was because it had the word kidnapped in the title. That's how it was for years. And then in the last year or two, that got taken off and it was remonetized. And now that same video that was too hot for advertisers then is made for kids now. So here you have all my videos that have been slapped with the Made for Kids. Some of them were like long-term evergreen videos that were pillars of my business. Some of them were just recent videos that did really well and were just getting going, becoming those ones that go off to the stratosphere. Some of them are huge videos that are among the top 1% most viewed videos on all of YouTube. Doesn't matter. Switch it off. Because when they put that Made for Kids label on something, it doesn't just take it out of like, you know, the advertising. It doesn't just mean they can't have targeted ads on it. It also means, well, it turns off the comments, which sucks because there's like thousands of comments and years of engagement just gone. What a bummer there. But also it means that the video can't be suggested alongside anything other than other kids' videos. That doesn't mean it's gonna be. And in fact, YouTube then, I get it from their end why, if they've got these videos of mine that they're saying are made for kids, like I've also got videos on my channel that are not suitable for all advertisers, which that means mature. So it's like, why would they want to suggest my Made for Kids videos alongside other kids videos? Kids click on them, come over to the channel where they find that stuff that's totally not appropriate for kids in their eyes. Like, so they're just like, these videos are just dead. They're just sniped, just gone. Because like I said, I've read the 4 agreements, so I don't like try to blame anything external. I just try to take responsibility for what I can control. And when the circumstances out in the world change, I just try to figure out a way that I could change. Like when I first got started, my big dream, my goal was 100,000 subscribers. And that maybe if I could do something that big on YouTube, then that could work to draw people in and get my name out there for my comics and underground films and my music and the stuff that I thought I was doing before YouTube completely took over my life, right? But then as it got so humongous and so big so fast, it was all I could do to just try to like keep up with it and throw everything at it and see how big we could make it go. But this is where we're at when things lock down. You've got the whole story up to now. Now keep in mind, when lockdown happened, that wasn't the beginning for me. Me and my family had already been in a pressure cooker for months by that point. This is my beautiful baby darling daughter, Isabel. She was born in August 2019. And when she was born, I mean, she's great now, perfect health. But when she was born, she had a liver issue that it took some time to diagnose. And it was really scary because it's a super rare thing that needed this extremely specialized surgery that they had to like get this one particular person who's like the best of the best of the best specialist for this extremely rare thing, and just like absolutely harrowing experience. I thought I was going to be gone from work when my daughter was gone for 2 weeks, but I was gone for 2 months. Now, I've told the story elsewhere about the team I was working with when my daughter was born. So the reason why I'm showing you this film is because I spent a small fortune producing this film. If you include not just the money I'm out of pocket, but the time that I spent on it and the resources that I brought to it, you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars that I invested in this project, thinking that I was making the first step in like our big Hollywood power move. That this is what I'm doing. I'm investing in this film so that the team that I'm working with, we can like transition to movies. And this is what I thought I was going to be doing with the next 30 years of my life, was producing these movies. So this particular one was based on an original idea by another member of my team. This film was finished a year before my daughter was born. And last thing before it was time to put it out, the dude started hemming and hawing and throwing up roadblocks because he didn't like the deal that we came up with and he wanted to come up with something else. But he couldn't come up with something else. Oh, no, let me think about it. So literally a whole year went by. He was coming to my studio. He's being in my videos and collecting a paycheck every week while jerking me around with this film. Now, this period also dovetails and sits right on top of the period of time when my channel had like its most explosive, fastest growth and success that it ever had. So I was also kind of busy with that and wasn't feeling like I needed this film to be anything. So it's like, okay, we'll get it out next summer, whatever. We'll take the time, whatever. And so as the relationship started to sour and we get to the point where, you know, like I said, I come back from my daughter being born. And like I said, I was gone for 2 months instead of 2 weeks. And when I come back, the team dynamic was like gone, completely changed. These things was weird, and I couldn't understand why. And I found out that right after I went away, some of the members of our cast, the ladies on our cast, were in a group chat that some famous cosplayers were in, and somebody said our videos were cringy, and that just messed with everybody. So the whole time that I was away, they were operating in this mode of wanting to change what we do so that it's not cringy, and they're feeling self-conscious about what we do, even though it's like been so successful. Like, it's kind of like, what do you got to complain about? But anyways, so when I got back, and everything was always very contentious in a way that it never had been, the group dynamic was gone. And it got to a boiling point because I had some new help come in. Trey and Val, who help out behind the scenes, they came in to start taking some of the load off my sister Cass, who up to that point had been doing all the behind the scenes stuff herself, running the camera, running sound, setting up the lights, putting together the backdrop, whatever. And then when we're done the shoot, she would be the one to edit it and all that kind of stuff. Like, she did all the behind the scenes by herself. So we brought in some help. And when the old team, when the cast was being rude to the new people, that's where it was just like, we had to shut that down. So it turned into a big blow up, and they all made a big show of kind of walking off and quitting together and going on Facebook to make a big coordinated social media post about how they're not affiliated with me. And it wasn't until after it had all blown up, and then I got in touch with the guy. I said, okay, we still got the outstanding issue of this film. What do you want to do about it? And that's when he's like, well, it's my idea, so it belongs to me. And it's, okay. So that's in the back and forth about that. I kind of realized that this film was really more central to the whole thing than I at first had thought. For whatever reason, the dude did not want me to be a part of releasing it and marketing it, being a part of it on a business level after that. He's got to make me a bad guy so that he doesn't feel bad about screwing me over with regards to this movie. That's my best guess anyway. So this video I'm showing you now is the Battle of the Movie Billionaires video. And I'm showing it to you because this came out in the aftermath of that whole period where we're putting a new team together. We got a new squad that's dedicated and having fun, and the videos are continuing to do well. And we're absolutely soaring to 5 million subscribers, because like once it got to 1 million, it doubled to 2 in 7 months, and then doubled to 4 in 7 months. And we looked like we were heading to 5 like any minute now when the lockdowns came in. So like I pointed out to you before, you can literally see where lockdowns come into effect and channel performance drops off a cliff, and it's kind of done a little bit of like spiking, but the trend has been down. Like previously, what I would have done in times when I thought the channel like needed a bit of a creative refresh, that's when I would invite a whole bunch of people into some kind of big group video, either a big movie parody or a party video or one of the outdoor flash mob videos, invite a whole bunch of people around, bring in people I've always wanted to work with, people I haven't worked with in a while, plus people who are new in the mix who I want to meet all these people. And it's a great time, and everybody's around, and we get talking and laughing and having a good time. And as we're talking, ideas start going around. Hey, why don't we try this? Wouldn't that be funny? And we start coming up with ideas for new videos. And that's what we would come up with, like the next couple months worth of content. And we'd get fantastic videos that would be coming up because there's a crackle and an energy and a sparkle to it all, right? But then with lockdowns, all of that, everything we've ever done to keep the channel fresh has been taken away from us, right? So there are Comic-Con events, none of them are happening. Movies coming out for us to do parodies and riff on, no movies are coming out. Because of my daughter's health thing, especially, we had to be like so super strict about the lockdown restrictions. So we had to only work with the tiny little team that we had in the tiny little room with the green screen where we had to make stuff, creatively treading water, all the plans that we have for where the channel was supposed to grow to out the window. And we're just kind of doing what we can to keep it going, waiting for life to come back online. And then, you know, the last video we did that got 1 million views was July 2020. So like a lot of people have said, whoa, no, I mean, I've heard that everybody who does online video did really well during the lockdowns. Like, yeah, that's the prevailing wisdom. But you also got to think about the fact that, yeah, there's so many more people that are home watching stuff, but there's also so many more people home making stuff. And with so many more places for eyeballs to go, I think that just threw the whole system of viewing habits just completely out of whack. And because of the nature of what we do, I mean, I tried a few different things to try to like, you know, do new things and adjust to lockdown life and whatnot, movie watch along parties and live streams and whatnot, but none of that worked in any meaningful way. And in fact, when I was doing a Monday live stream, the feedback I got from somebody at my network was that me doing the live streams is so different from what people expect from my channel that it's actually hurting the search and suggestion action on my other good performing videos. From the beginning of lockdowns to now, it's been about half, and I'm not saying like breaks cleanly, it's like any given day the time breaks up, but it's roughly half trying to get back to what we were doing before, and half trying to acknowledge the reality, the new reality, and adjust to it and get some other irons in the fire. But then it gets into this vicious cycle thing of like, videos aren't doing as well as they used to, so I have to look for other ways to be an artist and start bringing in revenue, which means I'm not putting as much time or attention on the videos like I used to, which means that they don't do as well. And that's sort of the vicious cycle. We're getting to this point now where it's like none of us are getting any younger. Everybody's life and careers have evolved, and it's actually pretty amazing to see that so many of the people that I work with on these videos, their careers have been taken off. So the guy who I wanted to be Thor in a Thor Love and Thunder video, we just couldn't nail him down because he's too busy as a pro stuntman, right? Our girl Danny, who was our main female cast member basically through the whole pandemic, she got a gig doing stunt double for the lead performer on Halo. So she's off in Budapest for 6 months. Like, God bless her. That kind of thing's fantastic. But we're at this point now where it's like it's harder and harder and harder as people are getting more and more serious about their own stuff and what they got going on. The whole thing of like, yeah, throw on a costume and come be in a video. Like, it just seems like that's not like a season of life that people are in these days. So this channel, and really me as an artist, is at a major crossroads. And this is what I want to talk to you about. And this is what I want you to leave me a comment about if you have any thoughts on this matter. So I've been having to think on all this stuff. And what I realized just in the last couple of days here, the Sean Ward Show is not the video that gets 1 million views. The Sean Ward Show is me putting up a post about that the video got 1 million views. You understand that subtle difference I'm talking about right there? So realizing that, I kind of feel like this is the crossroads that I'm at, where it's just like, do I take the channel over and reaffirm what the Sean Ward Show is and just give up the whole like going to Comic-Cons and doing flash mobs and all that kind of stuff and just make it more about me and my animation and my songs and my creativity, whether that's superheroes or not? But then it's like my next song that I've got lined up is called Made to Measure, and it's like a braggadocious rap song about how good I look in my suits. Like, when I did the video that I've got in mind for that has nothing to do with superheroes or cosplay. So like, does it even belong on this channel? Or better yet, fast forward to next year, next April. I've got a song that I want to do for like April 420, like a cannabis anthem. Like, that can't go on a kid-friendly superhero channel, can it? So then the other option is to just completely rebrand the channel, take the Sean Ward Show off of it, call it Team Super Funny officially, and quadruple down on the Comic-Cons and the flash mobs and the parody videos. But the problem there is there's no money to like hire somebody to run it. So then it's a matter of like, can it really be a success if it's this thing that I'm doing just to keep it running while trying to carve out as much time as possible and invest as much time as possible in other things that I'm trying to do? You know what I mean? Because the fact is that I can't live off of what this channel is doing anymore, and I got to get something else going. That's the bottom line thing that this video is about. So let me show you what else I've been working on since the pandemic. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I was experimenting with live streams. At first, I was doing like this movie watch-along thing where I'd kind of do a live running commentary, and the idea was the viewer would sync it up and we'd be watching it together online. I've also done, then I was doing a Monday night live stream every week for a while. But like I said, like the feedback that I got from some people analyzing my metrics was that those live streams were having a negative impact on the search and suggestibility of my other videos. So it's okay, knock that off. I tried to get back to my comic book roots because like I said, originally the whole thing of YouTube was that maybe it would help me get my name out there for my comics. So I started working with an artist and started writing these comics they were putting on Webtoon. But even though I wasn't doing the drawing, supervising and editing it and scripting it and whatnot was just taking up like way too much time. And then the artist started being flaky. So we're just, you know what, forget it. And this didn't become anything. Now this I'm very excited about. This is a graphic novel and animated film project it's a nonfiction work about Zack Snyder and the whole adventure of trying to get his Justice League movie made. And the whole thing where that movie got taken away from him and the release of the Snyder Cut and all that kind of stuff. I'm excited about it and work is progressing on it, but it's just taking way longer than I thought. I wanted to have this done for my big Comic-Con here in Toronto, Fan Expo, this past August. And it's like we knew back in March that it was not going to be ready for that amount of time. This is my sister doing the art, and she'll be doing the animation on the film with me. And I wrote the book and will direct the movie. So this is something I'm very excited to be a part of. It's a game called Monster Voices that uses my art for the game. And we've shown it off a few different times and had a very successful Kickstarter for it. But it's another one where, you know, we're supposed to have it ready for Fan Expo and it wasn't, shipping delays, blah, blah, blah. We actually had a live stream kickoff for the fundraiser for this game here on the channel. But that was a really like telling moment that kind of was amplified a lot of what I was thinking that led to making this video, where like we're doing this 12-hour live stream. There's supposed to be a big thing. Oh my God, they're on for 12 hours and let's support the game and whatnot. But like for most of the time we had 9 viewers. Like even at the very beginning, I think the most we had was like 15 or something. Like it's just, anytime I do anything that's not the Superman, Spider-Man, Joker parody kind of stuff, it not only isn't successful on the channel, but then the feedback I get is that it's actually hurting the channel to do that. Earlier in the pandemic, when I was just starting to think about this kind of stuff, and I was asking some of my like kind of people who are nearest and dearest to me, you know, what they want to see or what they think I can do or what I should do. And I was getting a lot of the feedback of like, we want to see you. We want to hear from you. We want more of your personality. And when the YouTube channel started doing really well in the first place, there was people in my life who were like, I'm happy for you and everything, but I really miss the content that you used to do that was like about you and when you make the comics about yourself and whatnot. So like looking for that vehicle that's going to allow me to really express sort of my most true creativity beyond just this one interest of mine, which is the superhero thing. Like I've been looking for that opportunity for a long time. You know, sometimes people suggest, well, why don't you do a podcast? It's like I'm not that guy who's going to like cover the, you know, movie news and rumors, because there's so many other people that are already doing that. And I don't know what I could bring to that I would do it better than they're doing it. So then we land on this. Here's me on Spotify with a bunch of my releases. There's my discography. And you might think this is crazy, but this whole time I've been doing YouTube, the goal and the thing I've been aiming for was to have a music video once a month. If you go on the channel and you look, there's been a few, but definitely not once a month. There's been long stretches of time with no music videos, mostly because I get very wrapped up in like the group atmosphere and I'm trying to do for other people and bring other people up with me. And I'm more focused more on stuff that I was doing with other people than on like a song that I would need to go away and write on my own kind of thing. Right. But anyways, this album you're looking at right here, Paid to Party, like way back before YouTube was ever a thing, I was doing music and I had a little bit of success with it, but it dovetailed to the same period of time when I had a development deal for a TV show and things were starting to pop off. And I really thought I was going to like be this art figure that I was always dreaming to be in. Right. So when that all didn't happen, and the music, I had a song on the radio and whatnot, but it didn't go any further than that. That's a whole other story. And I'll tell you about that. Like some people who were like part of my group and sabotaging me and running off and doing something else with a lot of what we'd done together. But anyway, so I was in that period of just like, you know, the music thing, I kind of got stabbed in the back. My TV show development deal, nothing's happening with that. The network that had reached out to me, oh, that's not happening. The TV show I was working on got canceled. And like, I was in this absolute like lowest of my life pit of despair at that point when I started doing YouTube vlogs every day just to like give myself something else to focus on and something else to be obsessed about that could turn into something instead of just being stuck, you know, what can I do? It's going to look a certain way, blah, 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 right? So I started doing YouTube, and then the daily vlog thing was what it was. And then I made a second channel where I could put kind of scripted, produced comedy bits. And that's what the Sean Ward Show was. And then the Sean Ward Show channel in 2012 had its big viral launch, and it's been a wild ride from then to now. But the whole time in the background, I've still got all these songs that I was working on from back then, plus all the way through, coming up with new songs, having this dream and this idea that one of the things that my YouTube success is going to lead to is the opportunity to put out an album and really show people what I'm about. And so with all the feedback that I was getting about people saying that they want to see more personal work from me and see more of my creative vision and more of my personality showing through, and I'm looking for an outlet for all of that, it wasn't until very recently that I was watching a YouTube video. Now, I saw recently that the average YouTube user spends 11 minutes a day on the site. I'm probably on it for more like 2 or 3 hours because I've got stuff playing in the background while I'm doing other things. I'm playing YouTube videos in the car and whatnot, listening to it more than I'm watching it a lot of the time. But a lot of what I consume is like educational content about marketing. And I love, even for like stuff that I'm not trying to do. Like I'll watch a video about how to market something that's aimed at like novelists, just because you can always like cross-reference and glean new things and, you know, just have a broader perspective, right? So I was listening to a music marketer, and he was talking about how the idea of an official music video, that's done, that's dead. And that the game now is to release a song and have multiple videos, lots of videos. In fact, be putting out video content on social media every single day that all somehow is around the song. And as he's talking, as he's describing that, I had this like absolute eureka moment where I thought about all these songs that I have that no one's ever heard, that I thought I was waiting for this magical moment when I could put out an album. And then I thought about all these other kind of like the creative things that I just showed you that involve my art and my music and my filmmaking. And all of a sudden I just had this like, I could do that. This like epiphany moment, angels singing in the whole thing, where I realized that's what I should do. I should start taking these songs that I've got, start putting them out, and start making social media around them and have that be the new thing for me to be obsessed about day in and day out, like I was back in the day with going out to sell my photocopied comics on the street every day, or when I was doing daily YouTube and that was my obsession. And as long as I got a video out every single day, it's something cool was going to happen. Boy, did it ever. And so this is my new obsession now, is to just shift focus primarily from making the superhero parody videos and get back into my music. Now, a lot of my songs do touch on these stories and themes because it's such a big part of my life. I got one song that's called The Death and Return of Superman. I've got an idea to take that Spider-Verse boy band video that we did a long time ago and kind of do a new update of it, working with some really, really fascinating some absolutely fascinating collaborators on all that stuff. But kind of this is where my focus is starting to go. And what this video is about ultimately is like, this is where I feel like I can put all of my energy and attention and all these different things that right now are in these unconnected silos, how I could put them all together and make them all be pointing at and supporting the same thing, is to do this music release strategy that I'm talking about. So this is where I'm at. I've got singles planned all the way to next July and concepts in my head for what the videos are going to look like and how to do little social media campaigns around them and whatnot. I've got the game that's got my art in it, and so that's going to be coming out. Everybody's going to be getting in time for this Christmas, and then it's going to be next year. The Snyder Cut graphic novel coming out next year, and then starting to get turned into a movie probably for the year after. Who knows where that's going to go, all over the place. The only part that I don't have like perfect clarity on is what happens with this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel that has almost 5 million subscribers and is home to some of the biggest and most popular videos on the whole YouTube website, but has a completely disengaged audience, has no like devoted or loyal audience. I mean, I don't want to say no. There's a handful of people who like there's 6 people who are like channel members, right? That pay their $5 a month. And like, I feel blessed for those people, but like, I'm not feeding my daughter on that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the answer is to just shut the channel down, you know, but also I'm not sure what else I can get away with doing on this channel. So I said that if you stick around to the end, I've got something special, a giveaway for the most super of the super fans. And here it is. Leave a comment below. Let me know you made it to the end. And then I'm going to pick somebody to do a super spectacular work of original art for. It could be a drawing of you. It could be one of my monsters. I just want to do some kind of custom art piece digitally for one of my loyal viewers. Now, if you want to support, if I'm blessed enough that you want to support what I'm doing, here's how you can do it. First and foremost is to click join on the YouTube channel and become a channel member and support it on a monthly basis and keep me going through all YouTube drama and big projects that I'm launching, all the stuff that I got coming out. Number 2 is buy Monster Voices. You can go right now to the website and monstervoicesgame.com and you can buy yourself a pre-order copy. You're going to get it in time for Christmas. Order yourself a shirt. Also buy my shirts. You can see the little shelf of them underneath the player window on the YouTube watch page. It's got the hero and the villain designs. Lots of stuff for you to check out there. Go on my website and scroll all the way down here and you can input your info to subscribe. Join the SWS Underground. It's free and you get a lot of cool bonuses. Plus you'll be the first to get news about whatever I'm doing sent right to your email inbox. Support my Release the Snyder Cut project when the crowdfunding goes live. I'm not exactly sure when that's happening, but sign up for the newsletter and you'll be the first to hear about it. And then other than that, go to Spotify and check out my music. Listen to me there. Get my numbers up there. Help me build something there. So I just have a track record now to look back. And it's like the times when I wonder what the hell I'm going to do are always the times before like the biggest success I've ever had, right? So I'm fully confident about that. It's just a matter of lining it up in just such a way to make it happen on like some kind of timely and orderly schedule. I'm super excited for everything that I've got going on. At the end of the day, this is all just about like, how can I deliver for you? What do you want to see? How can I put something out there for you that's going to get you thinking in a new kind of way and make you feel like a better person because you watched what I made? You know what I mean? So if you can help me figure that out, I'd appreciate it. And thanks for hearing me out. Thanks for watching this video. And I'll be back with you soon. Thanks. See ya.